We have Reanne Chilton.
Hi, thank you, Senator from FARA and Representative Horn and members of the committee. My name is Dr. Reanne Chilton. I'm a licensed psychologist living in New Haven. I'm also a member of the Connecticut Psychological Association. I'm here to respectfully ask the committee to include psychologists in the licensing fee reductions proposed in sections 14 to 28 of Senate Bill 84. So currently, Connecticut has the highest annual licensing fees for psychologists in the entire country at $570 annually. I'm personally currently at the end of my training. I've earned my PhD. I've spent the last year and a half at the VA in West Haven and Yale, specializing in treating individuals with PTSD and substance use disorders. I had planned to obtain a license in Connecticut so that I could set up a private practice, see patients here with PTSD and substance use disorders. But when it came time to make this decision, I was coming out of having spent 6 years in graduate school, making about $25,000 a year on average. And while I've spent the last year and a half during postdoc making a bit more than that, I'm still on a trainee salary, about half of what I can expect to make when I'm fully in the workforce. So the current licensing fee at $570, that's a fee I need to pay on top of the thousands of dollars that I had to come up with for my licensing exam, my study materials, and saving for the cost of setting up a private practice. Connecticut is training top tier psychologists that have to make a critical decision about where to get licensed while they're still getting paid very little. Despite very much wanting to be licensed in Connecticut, I simply could not justify the cost. And so I got licensed in New York, which was a fraction of the cost, $229 every 3 years, so about $76 a year compared to that 570, where I'll just see patients virtually while I continue to live in Connecticut. This fee is more consistent with what medical doctors tend to pay for their license, despite the fact psychologists get paid much less than medical doctors do. It's an unnecessary barrier, not only to new psychologists coming out of training, but also to psychologists who choose to offer low cost services so that patients have access, all patients have access to this critical care. Please consider including psychologists in the current proposal. They are currently left out to increase the mental health workforce in Connecticut and make it more sustainable for psychologists to offer affordable services. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Do you have a sense on with respect to your licensing fees, sort of where, and you may have said this, where Connecticut maps out relative to other states?
We are the highest in the country. So New York is 229 every 3 years. Massachusetts is, I think, coming in about the same. Yeah, it's 270 every 2 years. So comparable states around us are charging around 135, anywhere between 75 and 135 a year, whereas, yeah, Connecticut is by far the highest.
Thank you. Representative Rader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for being here. I had a quick question for you. And if you don't have the answer, that's absolutely understandable, as I'm kind of putting you on the spot. But in terms of the revenue the state takes in terms of this licensing fee, do you have an understanding of the scale of what is collected right now?
Yes, so there is just under 3,000 psychologists licensed in Connecticut. So I'm not sure the math of that, but somewhere around 1.7 million, I think. Somebody please check that math. But so we're expecting though that the lost revenue there would be offset, at least in part, by more psychologists being enticed to get licensed here.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Seeing no further questions, thanks for joining us today.